Hello. Hi everyone. Yeah. Does it work now? Anyway, hi. Konbanni. Hello. Good evening to everyone who is here. Yeah. Yeah, it's me. It's Miria from Commander Virtual Live, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, I guess. I mean, you probably want to hear about Dungeons and Dragons because that's why you're here, right? Oh crap, I can't English. Anyway, how am I doing? I'm okay. For some reason though, like Google won't let me search like a proper dice roller that I can use for demonstrating how to roll. I mean, you don't need like a dice roller, but yeah, I don't know why. It seems to be behaving strangely. But it's okay. We'll figure out the dice rolling later if we ever do need to. Di ka naman pagod. Okay lang naman. Alright. My day was pretty okay. I had a rather hefty lunch, I guess. Am I gonna dice bite? Am I gonna bite dice for real? I already do. I just don't have my dice with me right now. Cause they're stashed somewhere else. The D&D addiction starts now. For you guys, maybe it depends if you guys are actually really super duper interested in it after the stream. I've been playing D&D for like what, 2-3 years or something already. I think it's been 3 years already. I think it's been 3 years already. Okay. With that in mind, have you ever tried Dungeons and Dragons? Yep. Nope. All right. That's just it's just a simple yes or no questions. All right. Hi. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, my my Google Chrome is not letting me search dice roller because Google has a built-in dice rolling function. Yeah, they have a built-in dice rolling function that kind of shows you the rollies as well. So it's actually really cute. You just Google dice roller. You just Google the dice roller and I think you will see it. It's like a built-in tool when you do Google search for it. Teach us who do not know, please. Hehe. Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm gonna preface this stream. I'm gonna preface the stream with the fact that I am in no way, shape, or form like a veteran D&D player or dungeon master. But for the most part, I have been playing for like 2-3 years, I think. And I have been dungeon mastering, DMing, mastering dungeons. I've been DMing for like maybe around 3/4 of that time. Yeah. I've never played, but I've watched stuff like Critical Role. It's really difficult. I think the common enemy that D&D players always have is the scheduling. The scheduling, right? Ask any D&D player and they're going to tell you that their first and foremost problem is setting up a game to fit the schedule of everyone who's part of the campaign, right? I think a lot of people got introduced to D&D because of Critical Role, because Critical Role really went above and beyond, right? It was fairly welcomed, right? Yeah. So I think a lot of people know D&D through Critical Role, but I guess there are some people that got into D&D because of like the adjacent games like Magic the Gathering and stuff, you know. Yes, I used to be like a player, but then I realized I kind of want to run games, and then after that I ended up being like a forever DM as well. So I kind of understand. Yeah. Adjacent games like Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, stuff like that. Yeah. And they are nerdy voice actors. Well, it's fun. Just to let everyone know though, you don't have to be a voice actor. You don't have to actually even do voices to play D&D. You don't need to do that. Because of Stranger Things, yeah, I think Stranger Things also uses Dungeons and Dragons as like a main thematic backdrop for their stuff. Alright, okay. So let's talk about misconceptions for D&D, right? Never tried the tabletop D&D, but as far back BG2 and stuff is... Wait, let me do this. Oh my god! Yeah, it's okay. No friends in the provinces that know it. That's okay. Scared to play because I don't know how to roleplay and the game needs commitment and dedication. There are two kinds of D&D games, right? There is a homebrew campaign, which is like the long form D&D. And then there is Adventurers League, which is, I think, going to be much easier for players who don't really have a lot of time and can't really commit to like weekly schedules, because Adventurers League games usually happen as long as someone wants a dungeon master. Yeah. And yes, Lapin, hello, welcome to the stream. D&D is definitely best enjoyed if you're comfortable with it and when you're with friends. So how do you play it without friends? You make some. But that is also like difficult as well. Yeah, never compare yourself to voice actors because you know, everyone enjoys D&D differently. Alright, so D&D has interested me for the longest time, but I really didn't have the time for it or enough friends to play with. Alright, so before anything else, let's talk about what Dungeons and Dragons is for the people who haven't particularly experienced it, or are maybe having like not really doubts or something. Like maybe you're not sure. Dungeons and Dragons is basically a tabletop role-playing game, but nowadays you can actually play it online. I usually run on Roll20, and sometimes I end up playing on Foundry. I do find that Foundry is so much more catered to Dungeons and Dragons in general, because of the way that it's set up. But Roll20 is a good way to start, considering that it is free, right? Yeah. D&D by yourself is like imagine myself and insert role with my favorite characters. D&D event in the fan server when we could raffle. Bossu, I don't know if you're here. If you're not here, I'll just pitch my idea to you afterwards. I wonder if we can raffle like a D&D session with 5 or 6 players or something. Alright. Yes, Foundry VTT is very insane, but for the uninitiated, you don't need to think about all of these things for now. Alright, what needs to happen right now is let's switch to my doodle board, because might as well start doodling as well so that I can get these things properly set up. Okay. Alright, I have my doodle board with me right now. My doodle board. You have several interested members. Okay, so hello there, Familia. Today we are going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons. I have started playing Dungeons & Dragons, I think, at around 2019. It was way before the pandemic happened. It was way before the pandemic happened, of course, but things were, like, of course, they were different back then. I haven't used my pen tablet in, like, a long time. So bear with me. I don't know how to do this anymore. Okay. So yeah. Dungeons & Dragons is a role-playing game, but I need you to remember that it's not always, you don't necessarily have to be a great, like, actor. You don't need to be a great actor to be able to play Dungeons & Dragons, right? You can just be interested in the game so far, maybe try it out for 1 time or 2, and then decide if it's something for you or if it's not for you, you know? Alright. Okay, so let me start by drawing Dungeons and Dragons right here. Yeah. Tabletop Simulator is also good, probably best for VTuber D&D. Alright, so Dungeons and Dragons. I'm gonna draw a dragon right here. Hey. He looks like a turtle. This is not a dragon. Maybe I'll add horns. Ta-da! That's a dragon. He can breathe fire. It's not always about dragons though. It's not always like dragons and stuff. Tell, yeah. Okay. So in Dungeons and Dragons, as a play, oh yeah, you're right. Add wings. Wee. There we go. That's a Durgan now. That is now a Durgan. All right. So in Dungeons and Dragons, as a player, what's going to happen is that you take control of your character. And your character can be anyone you want to be. Right? Your character can be anyone you want to be. You can decide whether they're human, they're an elf, a dwarf maybe if you're interested in that, and all of the other races that are available in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Usually what I like doing is I tend to like think about what sort of character archetype I want to do. So maybe I want to play a hero character, right? I want to play a hero character, and to be able to do something like that, maybe I just think of a very rough backstory for them. Maybe they had a tragic backstory or something. Yeah. Or something like that, you know? Come here, yeah, hello, welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna be, like, doodling. Yeah, let's give him a helmet with horns. Maybe he's a warrior or something. Yeah. Alright. With a sword. And this is in no way how I draw my characters, by the way. And a shield right here. This is no way looking like a shield. Maybe a heart. There we go. You don't have to make an edgy backstory for your character, alright? So, you, first and foremost, I think you have to think of what your character is, right? You don't have to make a really complicated backstory. Maybe he's just a farmer boy and he wanted to pick up a sword and stab people. And to do that, he decided to do some training to learn how to fight monsters, right? And then, it's not a dinosaur. It's a Durgan. It's a Durgan. Yeah. So maybe your farmer boy wants to pick up a sword and learn how to stab people, so he goes through some sort of training. And then he practiced as practice, you know? And then eventually he feels like he could, like, go pitch himself as a adventurer that can help other people slay some monsters. Yeah, his drawings are cute. They're just scribbles, doodles. Where did I put my pen? Okay. So so in D&D, right, what you need to do is, after you have a character concept, right? It immediately turns to how exactly does your character fit into the world. Normally Dungeons and Dragons games involve a lot of, like, relatively, it's not necessarily completely medieval, but it is somewhere within that realm, right? So most of the time it's like, maybe it's like, what is the time zone usually? Oh, what's the time period for D&D games usually? I think it's almost always medieval, I feel. I think it's almost always medieval. Yeah, but like, what's that? Yeah, it's usually medieval or high fantasy. I think high fantasy is the better term. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's high fantasy, something like that. So usually, because it's high fantasy, like, you have access to magic, you have the existence of monsters. Yes, the fantastical setting. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Medieval, Renaissance, maybe Victorian is, yeah, exactly. That's the usual setting. But I think with a lot of the newly released Dungeons and Dragons books, you can also come across, like, maybe steampunk as well, with the introduction of Eberron, I think, and the introduction of Artificers. It usually gets to mix up with that sort of time period. Yeah, it's mostly in a fantasy setting, definitely. Alright, so it's usually something like that, right? So you kind of have to contextualize your character for something like that. So usually they could be sword fighters, they could be... yeah, there is gonna be a new movie. Yeah, sometimes there are also some modifications to make it a little bit more cyberpunk and stuff. But most of the D&D games that you might find that are accessible to you might be located in any sort of fantasy setting. Yeah, there are some games with a moderate level of technology in them, and I think there can be some advanced settings where there are also firearms available for your character. But let's not dive too deep into that. Let's maintain the fantasy setting for now, because I think that's the most common thing that you guys will experience if you ever end up in a Dungeons and Dragons game, you know? Yeah. So, because of that, I guess we'll go with a fantasy setting for our character today. He already has a nice helmet, a sword, and a shield. Okay, so have a character concept in mind. It doesn't have to be too detailed or whatever. You don't need like 2 pages worth of your backstory. Just a concept is enough. A rough idea is enough. Ah yes, a basic human fighter. What race and class comp are you going for? I normally whenever I play D&D, I always go for ASMR sorcerers. And I multi-class with either a Warlock or a Paladin. But that's just me. And that's kind of advanced, so don't ignore what I just said. You know, don't think about multi-classing. Yeah, don't think about multi-classing. Yeah. Alright, so you already have your character concept, right? You already have your character concept, so... I don't know. High Elf Sorcerer is pretty cool. Multi-classing is a pain if you're not familiar with it, but I usually go Sorlocks, like Sorcerer Warlocks. Or Sorkadins, Sorcerer Paladins. But, again, ignore multi-classing for now, okay? So once you have like once you have an idea for your character, it could be like an elf if you want. With like really long ears and a pointy nose. And maybe some hair. There we go. You can have a human. Yeah. Hello, welcome to the stream. Is there a secret class like having all elements and stuff? I think each class has its own restrictions and what they're meant for. So there isn't really like I think there are some relative class overlaps, but in terms of D&D, it's always so much better to have like a party that's well-rounded, but of course you don't have to play by the rules all the time. Yeah. Are there lists of classes we can choose? Glad that you asked that, because since I don't think I can show it on stream right now, but I will link the free rules that are available on the Dungeons and Dragons website. So, basic rules for D&D. Ta-da! Yeah, either the SRD or the basic rules, honestly. There you go. You guys can check that out. It contains basically everything that you need. So there are classes that you can choose from, right? Part of character conceptualization is thinking about your classes, right? So right off the bat, based on what I remember, it usually starts with like a fighter. You have a fighter. You have a barbarian. You have a rogue. You have a rogue. What else are there? You have a rogue. You have a paladin. You have a ranger. And let's go over all of these classes one by one, I guess. Okay, so let's go over all of these classes one by one. And this is just like the main classes, okay? Okay, so we have Fighter, Barbarian, Rogue, Paladin, Ranger, Monk. Maybe we can move this a little bit. Okay, Ranger, Monk, we have... There are actually a lot, now that I think about it. And it can be very overwhelming for new players. So that's why I'm gonna go through all of them one by one. We have your Wizard, which is pretty standard if you ask me. Wizard, you have your Sorcerer. You have your Warlock. And your Bard. And your Artificer. Am I missing anyone right now? I think I'm not missing anyone. Alright, this should be it for the basic classes. So there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh wait! Druids! Oh my god, I'm so sorry! Ah, the nature people, I'm so sorry! Hey, hey. I put sad face there. I'm not missing anyone. Druid's crying in the corner. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. My first character was like, was it a druid? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I care about druids. I love druids. Alright, I think this should be it. Yeah. R.I.P. Nature, no. Have you played the older versions of D&D? I've only read through 3.5e, but I don't think I can ever step into that because it's gonna be so difficult. Okay. So... 13 classes, right? 13 classes. I think this is 13. Alright. So, are you gonna gacha roll the class? Maybe. But first I want to talk about what they're like, right? So, one of the classic D&D characters, or D&D classes that you can have, Warlock is here. He's here. So you have Fighter, right? You have Fighter. So your fighters are usually like punchy, great sword wielding, the generic. I know people will like think about it as very generic as well, because they are, but they're very versatile. Okay, fighters are your usually frontline class. Isn't there supposed to be an archer? Rangers are the archers. Yeah, so fighters are like, there are, these classes are all the same. What do you mean? What do you mean by all the, I know. You can, here's the thing, right? These are just, wow, Mira, they're not generic. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Right? I'm kidding. But essentially, fighters are very, very versatile. One thing you need to know that these, things are classes, right? Don't worry, I have champion fighters. I know how basic they can be, but they're very effective in what they do. Alright, so fighters are essentially the frontliners usually. Like, they're really like on the field. Most of them are melee, but you can have ranged fighters, you know. Fighter is for newbies usually, but it is also like nice to use a fighter as a veteran player because you know how to build them better. Okay, yeah, champions are generic. Okay, fine, I'll win. Do classes have hidden traits or specific skills in them? Good that you asked, because these are just the main classes, right? These are just like the surface level class or job that you have. Because every single time that you level up, you get closer to accessing the special part of your job, which is your subclass. So under fighters, right, you can specialize. That's the way that I like to think about subclasses. You can be a fighter, but you can specialize in something. Some fighters can be champions, and champion fighters are usually the ones that are luckier and can deal a lot of damage in one go, especially if they roll nicely. How many classes are there even? This should be it. I'm not considering the other additional classes like Blood Hunter, etc. because, you know, let's stick to technical PHB plus Tasha's. Yeah. So, fighters can either specialize in being a really hard hitter, they can specialize in mounted combat, So you ride a mount, like a horse, and you can specialize in that. You can also specialize as a ranged fighter. So there are a lot of subclasses, basically, right? So that's with fighter. Yeah. Usually they have like the most attacks. I think in higher level play, fighters usually get around 4 attacks per turn, I think. If I remember. I've never really played high level fighters, but yeah, that's that. Yeah. 5 attacks. Okay. Yeah. So fighters are the way to classify them is that these are really frontline people. Yeah. 4 attacks. It's the capsule. Yeah. There you go. So tama. Okay. So that's for fighters, right? Let's move on to our rogues. So rogue classes are, as you can probably tell, they're the class that specializes in sneaking around. They specialize in thievery most of the time. And they're really good with lighter weapons in such a way that they're usually... I think most people play rogues to do the stabby or the shooty. Yeah. Right. Okay. So rogues do have like the advantage of being able to sneak around and stuff. Yeah. They do be doing a little bit of tomfoolery. So rogues usually either use like ranged weapons like a short bow or a long bow, or they could also use like the usual daggers or rapiers. Now, one of the specializations or the subclasses for rogues usually involve either a thief or an assassin, and you kind of get the archetype, I think. You kind of get the archetype. Yeah. That's for rogues. That's for rogues. Then let's move on to our rangers, which is a class that out of all of the classes that I've listed here, I've never played ranger, ever. I've never made a ranger character. I think I've made one of everything except for ranger. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad class or anything. It just means that I guess it's just not my kind of class. But usually, I guess rangers kind of do range stuff. I don't know. Maybe other people can explain it a bit better. Does D&D have that rock, paper, scissors, triangle thing going on where one class counters another, like in Fire Emblem? I feel like we don't necessarily have it. It's more of like team composition more than anything else. So like a bunch of melee fighters are probably gonna have a lot of problems if they're facing a lot of magic casters who have range. So it's more about balancing your composition, if you're really into that, of course. Yeah. There are some specialities to rangers that I'm not familiar with. Just so that I can let you guys know, right? I'm not a ranger player. I don't have a ranger at all. But they're usually... here's one thing that you need to remember about rangers. Rangers, while they seem like they're just a variant of rogues, they can actually cast magic. So by default, they can actually cast magic, which kind of meshes with nature-y stuff as well, just to amp up their damage. So yeah, I guess that's what I can say about ranger. I forgot if they're a wisdom class. I think they're a wisdom class. Yeah. So usually, rangers have advantage if they're in a specific place, right? So for example, there are some rangers who favor forest areas, and by virtue of being a ranger there, they have advantage on specific things like checking things out, locating stuff, etc, etc. And yes, they have pets. But yeah, they are pretty niche if you think about it, but it really depends on what kind of game you're in. Okay, so that's for ranger. So let's go to Barbarians. So what makes Barbarians different from Fighters, Maria? Like, they sound pretty much the same. Barbarians are essentially the meat shield of the party. So, if you compare Fighters with Barbarians, right? Barbarians have the advantage of having the highest hit points, HP, in Dungeons and Dragons as accessible to players, right? Barbarians are defined by their classic move, which is essentially like rage. So barbarians can get super duper angry while they're fighting. Barbarians can get super duper angry while fighting, and they deal extra damage because of that, and they can do cooler stuff. Yeah, essentially they get mad, they get more powerful, and they're pretty tanky as well. Like, they have the highest pool of health compared to everyone else in the class list. Yeah, so it's usually like, if you want to be tanky-ish, you wanna like not really outlive your party mates, you know, but if you want to act like a damage sponge, yeah, that's essentially what barbarians are. Okay, then we have paladins right here. And I think paladins are my favorite class. If you remember that I said that the rangers are both a martial class. So martial means you use weapons usually to attack, while magic is, you know, you have spells, right? So paladin is a mix of that. A paladin is your martial and half caster as well, right? So paladins can do magic stuff, and it's based on their it's based on their oath, right? So paladins, by virtue of existing, paladins usually have like one core belief that they hold dear to their hearts. They have one core belief that they really believe in, that they hold dear to their hearts, and that's their source of power, right? So paladins are semi-tanky. They're just as stocky as fighters, right? I've never played World of Warcraft, so didn't you prefer to be ranged during combat? I did, but I think I love paladins regardless. Paladins can still be ranged, right? Paladins can cast spells. They can cast spells, and I just think it's fun role-playing as a paladin, because you don't have to serve a god as a paladin though. You just have to like uphold your oath. Usually to become a paladin, you have to believe in something hard enough that it powers you through everything. Paladins are also very armored people. I think they usually start with like really bulky armor. Do paladins cast healing spells? Yes, they can. They are I think it's a fair balance of support and offense as a paladin. Yeah, the power of God and anime on my side. You don't need to choose a god specifically for your paladin. You just need to pick like, if you believe in something. It doesn't have to be a god. My mind is going back to MTG characters with the same descriptions. Yeah, I think they're very intricately linked. Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. Yeah. Paladins are like battle mages. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to think about how a paladin functions. Yeah. They are still mostly martial though, but yeah. Yeah. I always think defend your party. Yeah. Paladins can also serve as tanks, I guess, in my experience, because they can soak up a lot of damage as well. Yeah. Yeah. Edgy Oathbreaker? Not really, not really. My favorite paladin oath is Ancients. Paladin of the Ancients, because it's nature-y. That's just me. Okay. Next we have the monks. If they can believe in anything, can we create a cult of mirror and empower paladins through that? Yeah, you can. You really can. I just love Oath of the Ancients, I swear. Alright, so we have the monks. Monks are the punchy thing. Monks... Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention about barbarians. Barbarians are usually naked. Monks are too. Kinda. Not really fully naked, but compared to fighters, compared to rogues, rangers, paladins, and stuff, barbarians and monks don't really use armor. Yeah. Barbarians and monks don't really use armor. How naked are we talking here? They don't need to wear any sort of armor to be protected, right? My friend and I have an ongoing campaign using the 5e system. I hope you guys are having fun. Yeah. They don't need to be wearing armor to protect themselves. That's the fun part about having a barbarian or a monk. Less armor, more damage. Not necessarily relating to damage, but more protection. Less armor, more protection. They're the classic, they need to feel really light, and not hampered by any sort of clothing, or heavy clothing for that matter. Yeah. So they are pretty much easier, they have an easier time avoiding weapon attacks in general, just by virtue of not wearing, any sort of armor, right? Yeah, the benefit of being unarmed is it definitely works for monks. So think of it as like they need to be able to move. They need to be able to move a lot more so that they can of course avoid things. So monks are the punchy things. They believe in not really believe, but they gather their power in the form of key points. So they're kind of meditation-y if you think about it. But yeah, they can specialize into semi-magic-y. Not necessarily true magic, but they can control things in such a way. Yes, you can subclass into having JoJo stance. That's true. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun being a monk actually. You kinda start as melee. You start as melee, but you can pretty much evolve afterwards. Okay, so that's Barbarian and Monk. I think those are the only two naked classes. Alright, let's go to my next favorite. I love Clerics. I love Clerics so much. Alright. Yes, Monks cast Punch. Alright, I love Clerics a whole lot. Like, you wouldn't believe. I think most of my characters are actually Clerics if I look at my character bank. Yeah. So, Cleric class, the clerics essentially are, of course, the common stereotype for clerics is the fact that, you know, they're support themed essentially. I love clerics because they're very versatile, I think. Yeah. I love clerics because it's not always just about healing. The most important person in a party, but not a lot, likes to play them. Oh, if you have me on your table, you'll always have a cleric. Yeah, they're not just your heal bot. They actually like hit hard. They hit really hard. Can I be a Rimuru in D&D or Inza? Yeah, you can. You can pretty much pattern the way that you're building your character towards popular anime stuff. So yeah. Yeah, Miria going with the stereotypes. Alright, I like clerics because they don't just have to heal, you know. Clerics in Dungeons and Dragons deal pretty decent damage. They are pretty much usable in any sort of situation, right? Personally, I feel like clerics don't necessarily have to be locked towards healing, I guess. Because there are specializations for clerics that focus more on battle and damage compared to actual healing, right? So clerics can either be like a savior of life or a destroyer. I always call my party members heathens whenever they do something nearby. I hope you can heal a Warforged then. Well, I haven't played with a Warforged, so there's that. Since I've not experienced being in a setting that allows for Warforged. I haven't played Eberron. That's yeah. Clerics can also be necromancers. The team can't die if the enemy is dead. That's true. That's true. So clerics can pack a punch, right? I'm a healer, but yeah. So if you pick cleric, you're automatically like the best person in the world. I'm kidding. But yeah, there are a lot of possibilities with playing a cleric. They are a full spellcaster class, by the way. So you really have a lot of choices because you can cast magic. And depending on the god that you worship as a cleric, you can have additional spells. You can have additional spells that are outside of what you can normally do. Yeah. Harm assist. Tempest is my preferred fighter cleric. I like light clerics just for the utility. Dealing damage is just healing negative HP. That's true. The best healing is everyone else, like, in the enemy team is dead. In terms of a fighty cleric, nothing for me beats Forged. Actually, are CCs a thing in D&D? Yes, crowd controls. We'll get to that later. Okay. Yeah, light clerics have Fireball. Exactly. That's exactly the reason why I like it. The best healing is with the power of friendship. Also true. D&D is a team game. You can't play it like you act like you're the sole star of the show. You have to understand that you're also playing with your DM, whose enjoyment also matters, and at the same time, other people who also want to enjoy their own game. I was out for a while. Have we made a character? No, I'm just talking about character classes right now. Conmira just joining in, yeah. Crowd controls are a thing. Okay, so I've talked about clerics enough. Let's go to our wizards. Alright, so wizards are... Mira's a very good D&D player. No, I'm not. Can you get skills like creation magic or nullification magic? There are some options, but it depends on what kind of class you pick. You normally can't get you can't get a mixed array, because like these spellcaster classes like clerics and wizards and sorcerers, etc., they have their own specializations for things, so you can't be a wizard that like heals. Although I know in newer books there is a healing spell for wizards. Don't fight me. But let's start with the basic rules, you know. You can't betray someone in this game. You can. Yeah, you can. Don't forget that there are spell slots. Yeah, we'll get to that later. Wizards are your classic spellcasters. How can you say you're good at this game? I'm not. I'm definitely not. Alright, so we have wizards. And wizards are essentially, like... I wouldn't be able to say that they're, like, the best spellcasting class. But they are the most... learned? Or something? Okay, so wizards. The one thing that makes wizards unique compared to all of the other classes that can cast magic is that clerics and sorcerers and warlocks, etc., they usually have like a limit. Yeah, wizards are the big brains. I think wizards are the int classes. They're the intelligence classes. Yeah. Okay, so the fun thing about wizards is that you can learn more and more spells. They get a spell book. So they get like a really funky looking book. They get a really funky looking book, right? Let me move my screen down. They get a really funky book and they can put all of their spells there. They can put all of their spells there. And all of their magic. They can copy spells, they can learn more spells at the cost of money and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I always get confused between wizards and sword. Okay, wizards learn. Wizards learn their magic. Yes, like a grimoire. Wizards learn their magic, but sorcerers are born with it. They were born with the blood that helps them do their magic-y shit, right? So wizards learn all of it, and sorcerers are essentially like pinanganak na sila na may kakayanan na mag-magic. Yeah, they just get their no, it's not just for no reason. They have the inheritance thingy. Yeah, it's like natural talent. That's what makes wizards and sorcerers different. You can be a 1-year-old sorcerer. You're unlikely to be a 1-year-old. Yeah, it's basically you're born. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. So it's part of their inheritance. Yeah, that's the main difference, right? That's the main difference. Natural mangkukulam. Okay, so wizards learn it. Sorcerers can learn magic. It depends what you mean by learning, right? Wizards can learn every single spell that they have access to. But sorcerers, what makes a sorcerer different is that if you're a sorcerer and you're born with the magic that you use, right? If you're born with the magic that you use, you only have a limited access. You only have limited access to magic. So you can still choose what kind of spells you quote-unquote learn, but you have a cap to it. So you can only get a limited number of spells, and you have to live with it. Yeah. You only have a limited number of spells, and you have to deal with it after, because there's usually no turning back once you've learned something. Yeah. But the fun thing about being a sorcerer is that you can make your magic cooler by being able to cast multiple spells in one go. Although I guess it's a bit more difficult to explain that. Just know that sorcerers can bend magic a little bit better than wizards do. And it's called meta magic. But let's not dive too deep into that for now, okay? Sorcerers usually get neglected by the company making D&D. Are they? Are they? I'm not sure. Wizards can change their magic every day, as long as you know the spell. Sorcerers are stuck with the spells that they choose as they level, right? A wizard, as long as you have it in your spell book. For example, I learned Fireball the other day, and then now I learn how to cast Thunder Magic with Shatter. And on a Monday, I want to have Fireball with me. But on a Tuesday, I kind of want to have Thunder Magic with me, so I'd go with Shatter. That's the fun part about being a wizard. You can change whatever spells you bring for a day. For whatever specific day. But if you're a sorcerer, if you have Fireball, you're stuck with Fireball for the rest of your life. You're stuck with Fireball for the rest of your life. And the only time that you can normally change your spells is if you level up. You change it for something else, but then it gets locked in. Wizards don't have to be locked in by the kind of like spells that they want to use. So that's the difference between those two things. Yes, wizards are the nerds, storks are the chat magic people that are born cool. That's the easiest description. That's the easiest description. Yeah. Sorcerers can cast more spells though, because of like the meta magic thingy. But let's not dive too deep into that because it might be too complicated. Next, let's go to warlocks, the ones with the eldritch sugar daddies and stuff. Right. Wizards can be cool too. They are cool. I didn't say they weren't. They're just like there's just someone cooler than them. Yeah. Okay, so we have warlocks. Eldritch. Yeah, they're very popular for their eldritch blasts. Yeah. So based on what we've discussed so far, right? Wizards learn their magic, sorcerers are born with it, and warlocks tend to get blessed by otherworldly beings. Otherworldly beings to give them powers and stuff. Clerics are also technically the ones with sugar daddies as well because they believe in a god and their god grants them power. But I guess it's kind of the same with Warlock, except, you know, Warlocks function a little bit differently. Egulu, thank you so much for the super chat! Hi Maria, just new here, love your content. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Yeah, usually in terms of role-playing and lore, Warlocks usually trade off one thing for like their life or their soul or anything else just so they can have power. So it's less of believing like clerics do, because if you don't have any sort of faith in your god, you won't be able to function as a cleric in terms of like lore and roleplay. But as a warlock, as long as you make like some sort of pact, you exchange something of your own for someone else, that's essentially how you gain your powers. Yeah, usually they're edgy or something with the backstories and stuff. Yeah, that's what warlocks do. The fun thing about... Yes, they're the classic give me power in exchange of something else. Ow, my neck. Yeah, so that's how warlocks function. Warlocks are also like pretty nice range casters because they have the best cantrip. They have the best level 0 spell, which is Eldritch Blasts, which scales per level. So yeah, that's what a warlock is. They exchange something for better stuff. Have you seen the D&D trailer? I think it looks fun. I would watch it first before I judge it though, but I think it looks fun. Yeah. So warlocks have those Fireball is never the wrong answer. Alright, let's move on with a bard. So bards are your classic charisma character. Bards are your classic charisma characters. Usually they're the musicians of the group, because I think bards just generally just have musical instruments as a skill, as a proficiency, right? So bards are very well known for being dragon seducers. But just because you're a bard doesn't mean malandi ka. You don't have to seduce if you don't want to. Essentially, bards usually have a way with words. They usually are able to handle themselves well in social situations. And this is, best app for bards, char lang. Yeah, they're really artists, they're performers. You don't have to lock yourself up into being like someone that's meant to do something so that your mission can proceed. Bards also have like, this is your crowd control class most of the time. Back me up, guys. But usually when I play bards, these are the ones that handle like crowd control and managing large numbers of enemies because of most of their spells. Yeah. Bards are also very good roleplay characters because have the jack of all trades quirk to them, in so much as they just have an easier time doing things because of their own like stat bonuses and stuff, right? Bards are musical, bards are performers, stuff like that, and they can cast magic, and they use CC. They usually use the crowd control and stuff, and they're usually kind of built for support classes. Yeah, they're usually mostly support. But they can be ferocious fighters as well. Either you multi-class or you pick a subclass or a specialization that... What? You thought I was your nut? Am I back now? Am I back? It's trying to get back. Is it back? You're back? My front. Welcome back. Hello. I always instigate fights. Yeah, that's the funky stuff that bards can do. They can usually press for more information and stuff, so yeah. Yeah. But just because you're stuck with like a stereotype doesn't mean that you're like doomed to... Oh, it's still laggy? Oh no. Is it? Is it okay now? Maybe we need to wait. Wait a little bit more. Oh no! Where is my mouse? Am I still here? Or have I disappeared? Have I disappeared from the realm of streaming? Or are we good now? We can hear you now. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. Is Donkey from Shrek a bard? He could be. Still here, but with some issues. Oh, it's okay. Alright, we're back. Yeah, what did I say? Bards are cool. Bards are the people who have, like, a good way with words. Yeah. Alright, so that's with bards. Let's go with druids first. Hey, hey. Because I almost forgot about them. Druids are your nature boys. They are your firmly attuned to nature magic. Yeah. The most popular thing that druids can do is shapeshift. They can essentially turn into animals. They can turn into animals and utilize that to their advantage. That's essentially what druids do. Most of the druids can transform into beasts. They can only turn into beasts, not into absolute monsters. But specific subclasses of druids can change into other things, right? So there's a subclass of druids that can turn into elementals, which is like fire, water, you know, air, earth. Yeah, they can turn into elementals. And there is also a class of druids that are dedicated to the stars, which are my favorite. The stars druids, but that's really far off into advanced D&D, so let's not do that. Yeah, that's basically what druids are. Druids are also technical healers. They can also resurrect. Stars druids, same mood. Yeah, okay, so druids are the closest thing in comparison to clerics, right? So while clerics believe in gods, the druids believe in the power of nature and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what they believe in. Okay, and then we lastly have the Artificers. We have the Artificers. Artificers are the technological, smarty pants. Yeah, that's what Artificers are. They are also an intelligence class, but they focus on tinkering and, you know, gear. Wait, what's happening in chat? I got isekai. I failed my death saving throw. I'm so sorry, guys. Are we back? I don't know. Aren't we? Am I alive again? Did I get rezzed? Did I get rezzed or something? I rolled a nat 1. I rolled a nat 1. Yeah, actually, I don't think it was my internet. It was more of like OBS, like, being weird, but I guess it's fine. Sort of. Where is the sort of? I think it's skipping because it's trying to catch up with what I was saying last. Oh, I'm gonna say apple. If you hear me say apple, type apple. I'm waiting for people to say apple. The Artificers were mad. The Artificers were mad. Oh, okay, cool. Apple, 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 apple. Yeah, okay. The Artificers were mad. They took my internet away. Okay, is everything like stable now though? I hope it is. Yeah. Apple, apple. Okay. I guess. Oh, never mind. Artificers. Big O nose. Oh no! I feel like I'm seeing it earlier and then suddenly it's happening again. One HP left. I don't even know anymore. Full of level 1 artificers. I don't know if they're truly back. So I'm just gonna I don't know if we're truly back. Wait. The timelines are splitting again. That's so weird. I can load pretty much everything else properly though. I don't know if you guys are hearing this, but yeah. My doodle board! My doodle board. Pain. I too am feeling pain. I like my doodle board a lot. My doodle board looks really fun. It looks very creative. Claris, what the hell are you doing? Miria keeps dying. They're doing what they can. They're doing what they can. I'm not even seeing updated stuff right now. It's trying to load back. I think you should apologize to the artificers. I'm so sorry. You guys are the best class. I reset my streaming program already. So scary. I'm hanging on like a lifeline or something. It's stabilizing, yeah. I don't know how stable it is. That's super weird. I don't know what's happening at this point anymore. It spikes every now and then. The moment I type it's good, it's like it does the loady. Yeah, it does, it does. What? Yeah, I feel like it's not going to be... Is it? I'm not sure if it's going to be stable. It's normal on my side. Is it? Is it actually normal again? On behalf of the artificers, we accept your apology. Alright, I'm not sure if it's stable enough, but we might as well keep talking while it's happening. Yeah, anyway, okay. Wag batiin. Oh god, the moment the moment I say it worked and then it disappeared. Ah, this is so sad. Ako pala talaga yung problem. Joke lang. It's doubling for me. I don't have a Windows update queue. You're still good on my end. I don't know anymore. I feel like the best option for this one is to postpone it. I feel like the best option is to postpone this stream for now, cuz I feel like it's happening too often for it to stream properly. It's like when you talk it happens, so I'm gonna be a silent streamer moving forward. Yeah, I already did like the OBS reset and stuff. So yeah. I don't know why it happens like that, but it happens. I think I'm on a different timeline. Oh, what the pala tayo sa I haven't even made a character yet. I'm not sure how long this is going to hold out, to be very honest with you. Is it time to bring out Not Miria again? Yeah, basically, artificers are like the tool people. This is supposed to be a wrench, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah. I already isekai without a character. Yay. So that's what you need to know about the classes, I guess. So have you guys decided what kind of class you guys want to use? Because personally, I feel like I would always gravitate towards a magic caster, you know. But yeah, that's me. That's just me. Based on like gems and stones, they have that specific thing, but not really. Like, yeah, nobody jinx it. Act normal. I want to try druids or paladins. Those are classes I have interested in, but I haven't tried. I hope you guys managed to find the class that you like, though. Alright, okay. So I guess for this one, like, I feel like I should roll the dice for this. I'm gonna pick a d12. I'm gonna pick a d12. And I am going to roll the dice so that we can decide what kind of character we want to make. Yeah. So I think we have like... We have 1. We have 2. We have 3. We have 4. We have 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. Oh god, I wrote 12. 12. 13. 13 classes. Oh, is it? I'm back? It's happening. Oh yeah, okay. I feel like this is a bit too frequent. I feel like it's happening a bit too frequently for it to like be stable enough. So so if I'm gonna have to decide on something, we might need to like postpone. Yeah, postpone. We might need to postpone it to a day where it doesn't do that. Cause like I feel like it happens a bit too much. Or a bit too often for it to like keep at it. Okay, let me just do something real quick. Okay. Let me try this one. There we go. Okay, so I have a dice roller right now. I have a dice roller right now, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna zoom in real quick. And we're gonna like we're gonna try to roll the dice for these things. I guess I'll move it here. I don't know if you guys can see me. But let me just move the dice roller here. Ta-da! Did something break in your area or something? I'm not sure. Technically during the earthquake we were okay. No lasting damage. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alright. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I do have a dice roller with me right now. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm just gonna roll for a character class and we stick with it. We're gonna stick with it. So, we currently only have, like... We have 14. We have... Wait, what? How many do we have? We have 13. But, for the sake of keeping things pretty simple, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to include the Artificer. I'm not going to include our Artificer for today. So we won't have an Artificer for the day. No Artificer. Yeah, we're not gonna have this dude over here. Please don't curse my internet, please. Yeah. So this essentially becomes number 12. Alright. So I'm going to be rolling a d12. Boo. No Artificers. Technically, they're not in the player handbook. They have to be introduced in a different... source book, right? So the thing that I linked to you guys earlier, the basic rules, they have all of these classes except for the Artificer. So we're kicking him out for the time being. Technically like a kind of advanced class anyway. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to be rolling a d12. And essentially when you hear people say D plus a number, that's the number of sides that the dice has, right? Artificers are technically relatively new. They're the newest class that's added to the official source book, but yeah. Hey, don't get me wrong. I love Artificers as well. I have an Alchemist. Personally. But because the link that I gave you guys is the basic rules that are available on the D&D website. So if I ever end up like rolling for an Artificer, it's going to be difficult for you guys to catch up, especially if I start talking about stuff like, oh, I need to do this sort of thing for my character. If you love the Artificers, you won't cross them out. Unfortunately, basic rules don't have them. The SRD doesn't have them. The only class here is the most basic ones. All of these are the basic ones except for the Artificers. Okay? The Artificers hit again. Just when we're getting back to the good part. It's okay. It's okay. I just wanna roll. Okay, so I think I'm green again. We're gonna sleep early today. I am going to roll my dice. And whatever number that lands on it is going to be the character that we're going to make moving forward. So I'm gonna roll now. I got 11. I got 11, so that means That means we are making a bard. We're making a bard. Alright, we are making a bard. The bard is the winner. Ta-da! Bard is the winner. Ta-da! We are going to be making a bard today. This is the dice. This is the dice that the dice have decided, essentially. The dice have decided that we are making a bard. I don't know if I can roleplay a bard properly though. That's gonna be extremely new to me. I don't think I've ever played a seductress before, so don't count on me making like a bard that's meant to seduce characters. Or NPCs, I mean. Magsasabi ako ng mga masasamang mga words. Yeah. Alright. Oh, Dragon's better be ready. Alright, so we are going to be making a bard. Singing is a free action. Funnily enough, bards are like the hardest. Summary of what I saw: she opens a dice roll at an 11 and then she's making a bard. Time to seduce a dragon. Time to gaslight people. Have I done point buy before? Yeah, I've done standard array, I've done point buy, and I've done like rolled stats. So it's a mix of things. It's a mix of things. I'm gonna get a dragon girlfriend. Miria's bard eats soap so that all her verses are fresh and clean. I can't do a seductress character, just so you guys know. Bards don't have to be limited. Bards don't have to be limited to being seducer persons. Yeah. I guess let's try to maximize the dicey rollies, right? Are you gonna roll the personality too? We'll see. Biting soap does seem like something quirky that a bard would do. I can be an influential cult leader. Okay, so we're making a bard. We're making a bard today. I once made a homebrew item for bards that was so cursed they took psychic damage if they didn't speak in. Oh my god! That's really difficult. I can't even rhyme properly. Okay, I've played bards, but ironically, like, bards are charisma characters, right? So they usually have the higher charismas. They're usually proficient in persuasion, intimidation, stuff like that. But me as an actual person, I can't even be charismatic at all. I can't even be charismatic. I'm bad at speaking. So like I'm bad at social situations in D&D. Right? I'm bad at social situations in D&D because I'm just as awkward in real life. I don't think I have like I don't have do it for the immersion. Because the stream is being a little weird, right? Because the stream is being a little weird and it's happening like a lot of the time, and I think it's really impeding. There's a first for everything. Most of the bards that I make are very meek, socializable people. Alright. Okay, so stream is postponed. Yeah. I think we've heard Mommy Mary before, so I think you can pull off a seductress. Yeah. Here's a tip if you're portraying a character with trait. I don't go full roleplay most of the time, naman. I usually like if I'm not really in a particular space to like act. I usually just describe and speak. That's it. But anyway, my awful handwriting is here to tell you that the stream is probably most likely going to be postponed for now. By virtue of the very frequent the very frequent choppy stuff. I'm really sad about it too, because I was really we're barely even done with anything. I think what have we done today? I just talked about the character classes. I just talked about the character classes, I think. I just got here. I know, I was really looking forward to actually talking about these things. But yeah, I feel like it's a bit too weird. Or it's gonna be very, very inconvenient to keep doing this when it keeps, you know, squiggling down and stuff. Yeah. I'm just gonna draw like I'm sorry. I'm just gonna draw like a quick I'm sorry. Oops, never mind. Not that. Yeah, we can do like a D&D stream like next time. Yeah, we can do like D&D next time, I guess. It's the Artificer's fault! This is why I lost my internet. What? Yeah. Pinersonal ng mga artificers yung internet ko for today, which kinda really sucks. I don't know if this is like a result of like the earthquake. I hope it's not though. I hope it's not. I hope it's not. It's not my fault. I know it's... Nah, it's hard to believe. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I really am okay. Yeah, I really am okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Things like these things like this usually happen. And since it does happen, there's not really a lot we can do. Got some stuff down at least, yeah. Because our ISP was also studied during the afternoon. Yeah, we'll redo not really redo. We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to this. I hope it's not a structural issue on my end. So, come on, guys, say quick, say goodbye to me. Bye. Bye. I'm really sorry that we have to postpone it. I hope we can do this again next time. Preferably without any problems in the future, because I really do wanna do D&D. So yeah. Hi. I'll talk to you guys again next time. Thank you. Bye.